Have you ever wondered why some people work hard their whole lives but never seem to get out of debt? This happens because many live beyond their means, spending more than they earn. Here's how it works. Someone receives their salary, and instead of paying the bills and saving a little for the future, they decide to buy things they can't pay for up front. A state-of-the-art phone, they put it on the credit card. A new car, they finance it for years. The trip of a lifetime. They split it into 12 payments. The initial feeling is wonderful. After all, you can have everything now without waiting. But at the end of the month, the bill arrives. And along with it come the interest, overdue invoices, and the stress of watching money disappear before it even hits the bank account. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that this is one of the biggest financial traps. When we spend more than we earn, we are moving away from wealth and getting closer to debt. The problem is not having desires, but wanting to fulfill them before the right time, without planning. Think about it like this. Every dollar you spend beyond what you can afford is a dollar less to invest in your future. And the longer you delay this awareness, the harder it becomes to break the vicious cycle of lack of money. The key to getting rich is not in looking rich, but in acting like someone who truly understands the value of money. So, before making any purchase, ask yourself, do I really need this right now, or can I wait and buy more intelligently? This simple shift in mindset could be the first step in transforming your financial life. Have you ever been through this? You leave home just to buy something necessary, like bread or milk, but on the way, you see an irresistible sale and end up buying something you hadn't planned for. At the moment, it seems like a great idea. The problem is that this habit, repeated over time, destroys your chances of building wealth. Impulsive purchases are those made without planning, driven by the emotion of the moment. It's that new pair of shoes you didn't need but bought because it was on sale, or that expensive dinner just because you felt like going out, even though you know you've already spent too much that month. Small expenses like these may seem harmless, but when added up, they form a hole in your finances. Robert Kiyosaki warns that wealth is not built only by earning more money, but also by controlling how it's spent. If you spend everything you earn, or worse, spend even what you don't have, you'll never have enough money to invest and build a solid future. The solution? Develop the habit of reflecting before buying. Ask yourself, is this a necessity or just a momentary desire? If I don't buy this now, will my life be harmed? Could this money be better spent on something that truly helps me grow financially? If the answer is no, maybe it's time to rethink. The secret to financial freedom is not in depriving yourself of everything, but in spending consciously and intelligently. The less money you waste on unimportant things, the faster you'll be able to invest in what truly makes a difference in your life. So, how many impulsive purchases have you made this month? Could it be time to change this habit? Many people believe that owning a new luxury car is a symbol of success. After all, who wouldn't want to drive a sophisticated vehicle full of technology and comfort? The problem is that this choice can be a major obstacle to building wealth. Robert Kiyosaki warns that financing an expensive car is one of the worst financial mistakes anyone can make. The reason is simple. As soon as the car leaves the dealership, it starts losing value. Unlike an investment which can bring a return, a car is a liability. In other words, it takes money out of your pocket every month. Let's think about the real impact of this. When you finance a car, you're not only paying for the car itself. There are interest rates built into the installments, higher insurance, annual taxes, maintenance and fuel. All of this makes the final cost much higher than the original price of the vehicle. In the end, you may be spending the equivalent of a small apartment, but without any financial return. And why do so many people fall into this trap? Because they want to show status, they want to feel like they've achieved something. But true financial success isn't about looking rich, it's about making smart choices. Instead of tying up your income with a financed luxury car, imagine investing that money. If applied the right way, it can grow and eventually pay for your car in full, without interest, without worries, and without compromising your wealth. The question remains, do you want a car to impress others, or do you want a peaceful financial future? The credit card can be a great ally or a dangerous enemy. Used wisely, it offers benefits like cashback and rewards programs, but when there's no control, it becomes a bottomless pit that eats up your income without you realizing it. Imagine someone receiving their salary at the beginning of the month. On the same day, they need to pay the credit card bill, but realize the amount is much higher than expected. Since they don't have enough money, they decide to pay only the minimum, leaving the rest for the next month. The problem is that the interest starts to accumulate. The following month, the bill comes even higher, and the person with no way out starts a new installment plan. This is how a cycle begins that can last for years, turning small purchases into an unmanageable snowball. The biggest mistake made with credit cards is using them as if they were an extension of your salary. It's not extra money, it's just a payment method. When you spend without planning, you adopt a lifestyle you can't sustain, and in no time, you find yourself trapped in debt. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that credit card interest is one of the fastest ways to destroy your financial freedom. That's because the rates charged by financial institutions are extremely high. While money invested in assets grows slowly over time, credit card debt grows at a frightening speed, devouring your wealth. Now, think about how this money could be better used. Suppose you unknowingly spend $500 per month on credit card interest. In a year, that's $6,000. In 10 years, it's $60,000 that could have been invested and turned into a much greater value. That's the price of a lack of control. So, what can you do to avoid this trap? Some simple strategies can make all the difference. Use the card only for planned and essential purchases. Before swiping, ask yourself if you really need that expense. Never spend more than you can pay off in full on the next month's bill. Installments may seem harmless, but they can compromise your future income. Track your expenses in real time. Banking apps and spreadsheets help you see where your money is going. If you already have credit card debt, prioritize paying it off as quickly as possible. The longer the debt remains, the more it will grow. The secret is not to fear the credit and card, but to learn how to use it to your advantage. While many people work to pay interest, true investors make their money work for them. Which group do you want to be in? We live in an era where everything seems to be available for a small monthly fee. Streaming services, apps, gyms, membership, clubs, and even software offer subscription plans that individually seem affordable. The problem arises when these small amounts accumulate, draining your money month after month without you noticing. Consider this scenario. Someone subscribes to 3 streaming platforms but only watches one. They also have a digital magazine, subscription they never read, an exercise app they rarely use, and a premium music service, even though there's a free plan available. Each of these subscriptions costs between $20 and $50 per month. Combined, they represent a monthly expenditure of $200 to $300, which adds up to more than $3,000 a year. Now imagine this money invested over a decade. It could turn into a significant financial reserve. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that one of the biggest financial mistakes is not being aware of where your money is going. Many expenses seem too small to pay attention to, but over time, they undermine your ability to accumulate wealth. Unused subscriptions and services are a classic example of this. The subscription trap works because they are automatically charged. You don't feel the immediate impact of the spending, and often you don't even realize you're paying for something you don't use. Companies know this and create business models based on consumer inertia. That is, they count on the fact that many people won't bother canceling something they don't use. The solution? Conduct a regular audit of your fixed expenses. Take a look at your credit card statement or bank statement and review all subscriptions and paid services. Ask yourself, do I really use this service frequently? Does it bring me real benefits, or could I live without it? Is there a free or cheaper alternative that meets my needs? If the answer is no, cancel it immediately. Many services offer a free trial period or more affordable plans, and you'll often realize that you don't miss the subscription once you cancel it. The money you save can be directed to something much more useful, like investments, financial education, or even building an emergency fund. Small adjustments to your budget can make a huge difference in the long run. So when was the last time you reviewed your subscriptions? Maybe it's time to eliminate those invisible expenses and start directing your money towards something that will truly change your life. Many people dream of buying their own home, thinking it will be a source of wealth in the future. The idea of owning a home is very appealing, but according to Robert Kiyosaki, this dream can be one of the biggest financial misconceptions someone can have. He explains that, contrary to what many people think, owning a home is not necessarily an asset, but rather a liability. Now you may be wondering, how can a home be a liability? The answer is simple. While a home may seem like an investment because you're building equity, it requires constant maintenance, taxes, insurance, and other regular expenses that drain your money. For example, you pay the mortgage, utility bills, water, gas, property, taxes, if applicable, and even lawn care or house painting. These expenses are unavoidable, and in the end, the house isn't generating a positive cash flow for you. You're not making money from it, just spending it. Now, imagine the value you're missing out on by not investing that money elsewhere. If you took that money and invested it in something that generates returns, like rental properties or stocks, for example, you'd be creating a real asset, one that actually makes you money. A home doesn't do that. It only appreciates or depreciates over time, and while you're paying for it, there's no direct financial return. This concept may be hard to swallow because for many people, owning a home represents stability, security, and the future. However, the secret is understanding that financially, a home that doesn't generate income is a continuous expense, not a source of wealth. Instead of putting all your resources into buying a home, how about thinking about other investment options that will actually bring in money in the future, such as rental properties or even investing in dividend-paying stocks? So before buying a home to live in, think about whether it will actually bring wealth to you, or if, in reality, it's just draining money from your pocket every month. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make, and if you can avoid it, you could be on a faster path to financial independence. Now think, are you building wealth smartly, or are you just taking on a commitment that will weigh heavily on your wallet for years? If you change the way you view homeownership, you might find ways to become truly wealthy without having to give up the security and comfort that a home can provide. The search for knowledge is one of the greatest keys to success. However, Robert Kiyosaki warns about a very common mistake: investing in education that doesn't yield a real financial return. Many people believe that by paying for expensive courses like universities and postgraduate programs, they are automatically securing a prosperous future, but that's not always the case. What Kiyosaki means is that education should be thought of strategically, considering the financial return it can provide. Of course, education is important. It opens doors, expands horizons, and provides valuable skills. However, The big problem arises when we invest large amounts of money in courses or degrees that don't have practical application in the job market or that don't generate significant income after completion. An example of this is when people spend fortunes on specialized courses that are not well recognized in the market or that don't have clear demand. Kiyosaki suggests that instead of investing in education that only adds another title to your resume, the real key is to learn practical skills that truly add value to your financial life. He suggests, for example, investing in courses that teach money management, such as financial education, or entrepreneurial skills like digital marketing, graphic design, programming, or any area that has a direct application for growing your own income. Moreover, he argues that if you invest time and money in learning to invest, create assets, and grow your wealth, this type of education will yield a much more significant return in the long run than simply acquiring degrees. Ultimately, what matters is how you apply what you've learned to generate more money for yourself. An example of this can be seen in the story of many people who, despite having finished college, can't find a good job or have the financial security they expected. Often they find themselves with significant student debt and not knowing how they use that money efficiently. On the other hand, those who sought investment courses, such as learning to deal with real estate or stocks, often end up creating an asset portfolio that starts generating passive income. So, instead of simply following the idea that more education is always better, think about the type of education that will truly bring financial returns. Ask yourself, what I'm learning will help me create a business, invest intelligently, or develop a skill that will make me money? If the answer is no, it may be time to reconsider where you are putting your time and money. Remember that education should be a tool to generate wealth, not an endless expense. Learning something that can increase your ability to generate income or grow in your field of work can be the greatest asset you have, because applied knowledge is a true generator of wealth. Many people, in their quest for a quick way to get rich, turn to luck. They play the lottery, participate in gambling, or invest in schemes that promise miraculous and instant returns. However, Robert Kiyosaki emphasizes that relying on luck instead of adopting a solid and planned investment strategy is one of the biggest financial traps someone can fall into. The temptation is strong, especially when we see large prizes in lottery ads, or when we hear stories of people who overnight changed their lives by winning the lottery. However, these stories are extremely rare, and for most people, gambling leads to nothing more than constant financial losses. Kiyosaki explains that instead of spending money on lottery tickets or at the casino tables, the best strategy is to invest intelligently and disciplinedly. The financial market offers several ways to increase your wealth steadily, such as stocks, real estate, investment funds, and even developing your own business. These investments require patience, study, and dedication, but unlike the lottery, they offer a clear and proven path to financial growth. Moreover, betting on luck means you're leaving control of your financial life in the hands of chance, which can be a huge waste of time and money. On the other hand, investing in income-generating assets puts you in control of your own luck. You learn to choose what to do with your money strategically, instead of waiting for a miracle. For example, if you take the amount spent on lottery tickets over the course of a year and invest that same amount in an investment fund or solid company stocks, over time, you'll see your money grow significantly. The magic of investment is in harnessing the power of compound interest, which over time makes your money work for you. Instead of relying on unpredictable luck, you can put your money into something that, with discipline and patience, can guarantee a substantial return. Kiyosaki also suggests that betting on luck is a form of living passively, waiting for something. to happen without the real effort of learning and making informed decisions. The key to achieving financial independence is having control over your investments, creating a financial plan based on real assets, such as rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, or even a business of your own that generates consistent profits. So, the next time you think about betting on the lottery or a quick get-rich scheme, remember, the true path to wealth comes from learning, working smart, and making well-executed investments, not from luck. Make money work for you, instead of waiting for it to come by chance. This is the game where you can win, and win for real. When we talk about wealth, one of Robert Kiyosaki's greatest lessons is the crucial difference between assets and liabilities. Many people unknowingly end up accumulating liabilities instead of assets, which makes it harder to achieve financial freedom. For Kiyosaki, an asset is something that puts money in your pocket, while a liability is something that takes money from you. And this is where most people go wrong. For example, a property that you buy and rent out is an asset. It generates a positive cash flow because you receive the rent every month. This puts money in your pocket no matter what happens. On the other hand, if you buy a house to live in and have to take out a mortgage, pay maintenance bills, taxes, and insurance, that house becomes a liability, as it is constantly taking money from you. Although many people see owning a home as an investment, it may not be a true asset if it doesn't generate any income. And in the end, the property's appreciation may not be enough to cover all the costs it generates. The key to getting rich is learning to acquire assets that generate money for you. Kiyosaki recommends that instead of spending your savings on things that depreciate quickly, like new cars or luxury goods, you invest in assets that can generate passive cash flow. This can include rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, or even your own business that generates steady profits. These assets are what truly allow you to become financially independent over time. A clear example of this can be seen in people who buy properties and rent them out. Although the property requires some care and maintenance, it is generating a passive income stream that can cover your expenses as well as generate profit. At the same time, if you use your income to acquire more properties or invest in stocks, you are constantly increasing your assets, ensuring that your money works for you instead of you working for it. However, a common mistake is that many people try to maintain a lifestyle based on liabilities, spending on things that don't generate financial returns. Buying financed luxury cars, making impulsive purchases, or investing in immediate consumption items may seem attractive in the moment, but these are examples of liabilities that, over time, take money out of your pocket and don't contribute to your financial growth. Therefore, the first step to achieving financial freedom is to focus on building assets, the ones that truly work for you. This means learning to invest smartly, developing passive income streams, and most importantly, understanding that, to grow financially, you need to invest in what will generate returns. To start, think about your finances from a new perspective. How can you replace liabilities with assets? How can you invest in a way that your money grows steadily and works for you, instead of being a constant expense? If you shift your focus to creating assets, you'll see your financial situation start to improve. Now that you have a better understanding of the importance of building assets and avoiding liabilities, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We'll continue exploring more practical tips and financial strategies that can transform your life and put you on the right path to financial freedom. Let's do this together. When you start to see the importance of avoiding useless expenses and adopting a mindset focused on investments and real assets, it becomes clear that the path to wealth is not a shortcut, but rather a strategic journey. With every financial decision you make, you could be one step closer to achieving financial independence. Instead of living to spend, start living to invest and create income streams that will work for you. The key is to make conscious decisions that build a stronger future. Now, if you're enjoying this approach and want to keep learning about how to improve your financial life, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss any content that can transform the way you manage money. Let's go together on this journey toward financial freedom.